Hey, how's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing well. You know what I mean? You know, it's the weekend, right? It's Mother's Day weekend, right? Tomorrow's Mother's Day. It's also the anniversary of the day my dad died, right? And so it's like a bittersweet day, right? But it's also kind of weird because like every 4 years, my birthday is on Mother's Day, right? So like tomorrow is his Mother's Day and the day my dad died, right? What? And then and then in a couple days is my birthday. Uh, but isn't that just how life works, right? So it's like with these people, like, but you see like my generation, the millennial generation, right? You'll see them all the time, like it's my birthday month, right? I got to take the whole week off of work and everything. It's like what? Like I don't get that. Like, look, I found out when my dad died, right? It's thankfully, I didn't have a one of those Facebook bans because I've been banned like 30-day holds, like 30-day holds, like if they just abandoned my car, 30-day holds. No, like 30-day bans, right? Like I got like I don't know 16 of those, like 2 weeks of them. I don't know, maybe like I don't know 10 of them. Like when it was a couple hours, I don't know, maybe five of those. Racking them up, racking them up, racking them up, right? But it's like at that time, it's a good thing that I was kind of like self censoring, I guess. Just trying to play, just trying to be safe, right? Just you know, posting good stuff at the time, or not really posting at the time, because I found out through Facebook Messenger, right? The cops, the police, the 12, bro. They came at me on Facebook, bro. They came and everybody was like, "See, I told you, bro. I told you the police be on them back on the internet. I told you." But see, no one was trying to be listening, bro. It's kind of weird. But they Facebook, they instant messaged me, right? What's your, hey, what's up? And they were like, hey, so check this out, like and they were like, and they said what happened, right? I mean, even the investigators, whatever, I don't, still don't even know fully what happened or anything. So like a lot of these people, especially like in New York, where they got the old river killer who's doing the COVID-19 calls for all the governors right now. The guy who had the mandate who killed like 15,000 old ladies and stuff, right? Oh, gonna kill, I'll push granny off the cliff. He killed like 15,000 of them, and right, and he gets all the way up there and gets to do all the COVID calls for everybody because Joe Biden is going to bedtime at like 10:30 in the morning, right? Like, what? And Kamala's out there. What is she doing? She's probably decorating the White House, waiting for Joe Biden to go night night forever, right? Push up daisies, right? Because I mean, it's really going. It's been like almost 2 months, right? 50, 48 days, 48, 47 and a half. 48 days, and she's supposed to be at the border. She ain't going there. She's like, and then they tapped her for space, right? Because women are good at needing space, right? And she, all of a sudden, you got the Chinese rocket coming down. It's like, dude, what are you gonna give Kamala now? You know what I mean? Don't give her nothing right now, bro, because we don't need nothing else right now. You know what I mean? A lot of shit's happening right now. Oh, see, another protest. Another protest. Black lives do matter, everybody. Just so you know. I mean, I ain't gonna be telling them nothing. You know what I mean? Swoop, I'm over here like, no, no, no. But check this out. I just wanted to be serious real quick because I've been having this on my mind all day. You know what I mean? It's been irking me. You know? Hey, Bob. Hey, boo boo. It's fine, boo boo. See? Everything's gonna be fine. That's what they say. That's what I heard one time. So, look, I wanted to talk about, because I mean, I think about my dad all the time. You know? It's kind of sad, right? But I could focus on that part. But I mean, when I mean, as a kid, he would always talk about dying. I mean, so I think about death all the time. I've always thought about death. I mean, it's kind of been a constant thing in my life, right? I mean, I remember when I was in like eighth grade, and my step aunt, she was like aunt since I was a little baby, right? And she got murdered. I mean, she got hit, right, 12 gauge shotgun, blow out her head. They killed the dog and then killed himself, right? And that was in Sabre Springs. I mean, Sabre Springs is cursed. I'm not from San Diego. Sabre Springs is a cursed place. I mean, you don't want to be fucking around over there. I'm probably a bit born in Indian burial ground or something. I mean, it's hex or something. Something's going on there. But I mean, it happened there. And ever since then, really, I mean, the open casket kind of stuff kind of scared the crap out of me, right? But ever since then, I mean, death has just been on my mind, right? been around a lot. But I mean, it's kind of weird, but it's a bittersweet thing to me too. But I think that we kind of have the right. I think we should be really kind of having like dreading our birthdays, kind of like I am nowadays, and then like celebrating death. I mean, really, because I mean, like think about it. I mean, at least he doesn't have to go around. I mean, at least doesn't have to deal with all this kind of madness that we're dealing with right now, and everybody's always saying how bad the world is and it's gonna end and everything else. At least he doesn't deal with all that, right? It's already happened. I mean, right? But at the same time, I mean, I mean, I'm glad I got a lot of the time with them. I've always felt like I robbed a lot of the time because of my juvenile delinquency and stubbornness and resentments and stupid fights and being ashamed and stuff like that, you know. But we always talked on the phone a lot. He was send me boxes as a kid full of junk food or knickknacks and stuff like that, you know. Paranoid schizophrenic guy, but independent. I always had a big old table, kind of like that table, but full of medications, right? Big pharma, right? Guinea pig kind of, and like always like but would always trying to tell me like be careful, this kind of. But that's why like I'm not anti-vaccine kind of stuff, but I'm cautious about that kind of stuff, doctor kind of stuff, because I've seen a lot of doctors just like, oh sure, here you go with this problem, and it was another doctor, there's another problem, So I kind of feel like we kind of have to like be our own kind of thing, your own advocate. Always talk to your, have your own little primary doctor and talk to your primary doctor about stuff, right? But who cares? That's here nor there. What I want to say is, like, he always taught, like, he was like independent. He was like, he always worked, right? I mean, he met my mom, like he was a Caterpillar operator, right? Tractor stuff, rode Harleys, hung out with the Hessians and smoked lovelies, right? Smoked these lovelies, PCP, marijuana joints, right, in the 80s, and that's what snapped and got him crazy, right? And and that's why my mom kind of, and then, but I would get to ride the Amtrak, right, from San Diego, where I grew up, right by Camp Pendleton to Anaheim, where he was, on the train all the time, right? In the summer, ride the little train, right? It was pretty cool. And he meet me right there, and we go and we do this kind of stuff, and it was kind of cool. And I got to eat ice cream for breakfast. I got to do all kind of stuff, right? Because it was like I'm not really around, but I want you to like me, kind of stuff. And I don't think parents should really do that at all, right? Kids are adults in training, and we should treat them as such. Now look at my little baby all the time. He's like, I don't know, 30,000 months, and no, he's like 15. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's like 36 in your basement. Like, let's be real. You know? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think, but like, and he always tried to get me to work and always kind of, even if it was just, spitting those little signs for liberty tax or whatever. There's no shame in a job. The only kind of shame was like breaking the law. You know what I mean? Like, I was the only kind of person on my dad's side that ever did that kind of stuff, and it's not the first thing that you want to be proud of, right? I mean, I'm not proud. I made a lot of mistakes in my my past. You know what I mean? And I mean, at least I learned and grew from them. You know what I mean? I'm a different person today than I used to be, and it's a good thing, right? But it's a lot of it because of my dad. I mean, in a lot of ways he was a beta weak man, but in a lot of ways he was a wise and strong man. He never gave up. There was a lot of trials and tribulations in his life. He had every reason to blame the world and everything else, but he always teach me about forgiveness and about looking at things the other way and from other people's perspective, and not to just lash out, even about my sisters, who I felt like were terrorizing me all the time, and even or about the world, about my shitty situations, about getting stabbed right there. You can see it's a lot bigger. It looks small right there, right? It looks small right there, but it's a lot bigger. But when I was 6 and got taken away, right, was molested, was beaten up all the time, right? all the time by my stepdad, by kids in the neighborhood, was bullied all the time, called a loser, called a piece of shit, and it would never amount to anything, all that kind of stuff, right? Was always trying to tell me, look at the positive stuff, pray to God, all this kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Look at Job, look at Jonah, look at the person on Calvary who forgave and all this other stuff, right? And believed and pressed on and persevered and pressed on, always, and never give up, even if you fall, pick yourself back up, right? always persevere, always forgiveness, and I never really understood, and always be grateful, I mean, even if for the littlest things, like, and that's why, I mean, I grew up like that, and I grew up going to his house, and I would be like, man, this sucks, because like, it would be dirty. I mean, he wasn't really good with hygiene all the time. I'd be sleeping on a bed full of like cockroaches. There'd be cockroaches everywhere. There'd be, I mean, just, you know what I mean? But I would be grateful that he was not in an insane asylum, that he was not in a hospital, that he was not, homeless in a bush somewhere, that he's talking to himself, or just, and have people looking at, I mean, he was self-sufficient in a lot of ways. He was able to get up, you know what I mean? He was able to maintain, you know what I mean? And you know what I mean? He had some government assistance, yes, but he was able to maintain a lot of that stuff, you know what I mean? And still function and have, you know what I mean? He was still, work on the tables, be washing other people's, windows, and you know what I mean? It was always trying to instill that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Into me, and, I think that we've gotten away from that. You know what I mean? In every way, people today would see him as a victim and stuff, but he never wanted to be seen like that. And I remember even when other people would be at the coffee bean drinking around River, and he would mutter stuff because he's schizophrenic River and trying to hide it and stuff, and people would look at him, and you know what I mean? You could tell he's kind of antisocial and kind of weird, River, and didn't really interact, kind of like Asperger, kind of like spurred out a little bit, and the way, and he would just say, hey, this is the way they are. People just don't understand or whatever. Just forgive them for that, and don't be angry. Don't judge them for that. That's not right. Blah blah blah. And it didn't really understand. That didn't really get to me until I was like 20, 23, 26. That's when I started to really understand a lot of that. A lot of that's not because for them. It's for you. It's for your inner peace, so that you can move on, so that you can move on to bigger and better things, and you know what I mean. And not be stuck in a rut. Not be hating and river, and be not just be on their level, but succumb to it and be into a lower level. You know what I mean? And so. And I understand that, and I'm grateful for a lot of that. You know what I mean? There's a lot of times where I was like ashamed of it's almost like, to me, growing up, it would almost be like better to have an alcoholic father than a schizophrenic father, right? A lot of people just don't understand that. I mean, and are scared of that, and that's why weird isn't weird to me. I don't get really weirded out by that kind of stuff, but it's also why conspiracy theories, or I'm kind of into them, because he would always go off on kind of weird shit like that and stuff, and but he also took me to orphanages in Tijuana and Rosarito Beach and stuff, with this church and stuff when I was like 12, 13 years old, and it got me a greater appreciation for America and for what I had, even though I thought I had not that much. I had a lot more than they did. You know what I mean? Like they didn't really speak English. They didn't have indoor plumbing or electricity or that great for food, or an N64 back in the day or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, they didn't have any of that, Game Boy Color, like, they didn't have none of that, But I did have some of that. And we're in America, like, we had electricity, we have color TVs in all of our houses, like, we have more than King Louis. We have a lot of stuff. We have a lot of things to be grateful for, I mean, sure, there's bad things and there's everything else, but look how much we've come. Look how much we're doing now. Look how much, you know what I mean? Because we can't build anything, we can't build anything great. You can't even look into tomorrow, if you keep looking back into yesterday. You know what I mean? You can't build a better tomorrow by trying to, repair the past. You can't. You have to move on. You have to accept it and move on. And that's the only way. You know what I mean? Like, life sucks. You know what I mean? And that's why we have to, like, treat each other better. That way we're not you know what I mean? Because we are in this world together. And however we're thinking and however we're treating each other is into the ether. And that's what we will get back. You know what I mean? Like, we have to start being grateful. Great. If you ever mom, be grateful. Call. If you haven't really talked to her for over a year because she voted for Donald Trump, or she's got whatever, or because you're scared she can't, call her up. You know what I mean? FaceTime your mother and your family and those you love, because time is the only thing that is really the only thing that is not able to be accumulated or able to go back. You know what I mean? It's precious. It's a resource that nobody could ever, do anything about. We can't change it. We can't do anything, but we can do what we have to focus on the moment now and do stuff now, right? And that's really what matters. You know what I mean? And that's how you become a bigger. That's how you can become a flying Pegasus unicorn or a butterfly or a bird or whatever you want to be. You know. But we have to forgive. We have to move on, and we have to start working together. Start seeing each other as family, as a unit, as a community, and not as distant strangers or people that are enemies, or you know what I mean, people that owe each other, or whatever, you know, because that's not how it works. You know what I mean? So that's just what I got. All right, all right. So I love you guys. Toodles.